The Michael Berry Show.
San Angelo, Texas. If you were heading on I-10 West coming out of San Antonio and you're headed toward El Paso, when you get about at Sonora, you would take 277 north and you would head into San Angelo. A wonderful little town, about 100,000 people, so you can think Beaumont if you know the area. It's the county seat of what county, Ron? Tom Green. Very good. You are an expert. It's in the Concho Valley between the Permian Basin to the northwest, the Chihuahuan Desert to the southwest, Osage Plains to the northeast, and central Texas to the southeast, with a population just 107 shy of 100,000. It is the home to Angelo State University, the historic Fort Concho, Goodfellow Air Force Base, and the seat of the Roman Catholic Diocese of San Angelo. There is an independent news agency in San Angelo that gets more views, more followers than the television, radio, and newspaper combined. It's called San Angelo Live. We are honored to be joined by Joe Hyde. Welcome, sir.
Well, welcome, Michael Berry. I actually am from Katy, Texas.
Oh, my goodness.
So I have a connection to Houston, and, I'm very familiar with your show. Visiting my parents, I'd listen to you, and I think we would all be big fans out here in San Angelo, Texas, of the Michael Berry Show if they just play it somewhere.
Well, what a nice thing to say. Okay. Well, we're on WOAI out of San Antonio, but I don't know if iHeart has a station in San Angelo. We don't have to be on an iHeart station. But I'm going to put Kirk Kretschmeyer with Premier on that issue. We are going to lock up San Angelo. That is our next big conquest. You came to my attention because you wrote an article about Midland becoming Midland Lee, bringing back the name of Robert E. Lee. Yet another sign that we can embrace our heritage. We can live comfortably with things that make some people uncomfortable, and y'all have owned that story. Can you tell us what happened? Going back to the name change, which it had been for so long, the community reaction, and then bringing it back.
Well, we have actually, we're big into football out here, and San Angelo Live is, we have a product called Cover One, where we cover high school football, the Friday Night Lights, if you're familiar with the movie and the TV show.
Of course.
We've kind of followed that, the San Angelo Bobcats, the San Angelo Central Bobcats, Permian Mojo, the Panthers, and Abilene, and even up into Lubbock, we cover just about every football team. And Midland Lee is more, or the Midland Lee Rebels, I would say, is as a brand, is as popular as the Longhorns or the Aggies out here. And when that school board, the very woke school board of Midland, Texas, back in 2020, they got the virus. And they voted to remove the name Lee, Robert E. Lee, from that school. Everyone was up in arms, but no one would speak for him. Everyone was afraid to talk about Robert E. Lee. And so Manny Diaz and I, he's my video guy, we went out there. We actually did a video story, and they were having a protest in favor of keeping the name Midland Lee Rebels. And it was primarily, you had every color out there. You had whites, you had blacks, you had the Hispanics. They all wanted to keep it because that was their brand. The Midland Lee Rebels. It's a storied football team, almost as good as the Katy Tigers. And they didn't want to change anything. They thought that if you change this name, all these famous football players that came, or athletes actually, that came out of the Midland Lee Rebels would be somehow, their legacies would be smeared.
Sure.
So it didn't have anything to do with the Civil War or slavery or anything like that. It's just, that place has been the Midland Lee High School since 1961. So you had decades and decades of traditions that school board just wiped out, and they turned it into Midland Legacy. And nobody wanted to be called Legacy. That's a soulless name.
It is.
There's nothing.
You know what it sounds
there.
like, Joe? It sounds like a name that you would hire these consultants to come in and give you a name that's supposed to sound like a legacy, but isn't. It's a name. It's It's puffery. It's soulless. It is vapid, and you're absolutely right. It's absolutely meaningless. Joe Hyde of San Angelo Live, a good follow on Twitter, by the way, which is how I found them. I've been following them for a while to get news in the region, is our guest. We'll continue our conversation with him coming up.
This is the Michael Berry Show.
The moment you are ashamed of your history, you do not learn it, understand it, learn from it, is a sign of your culture. And this is a sign of America, that we have seen this happen in so many different ways. And to rewrite and to erase, to revise, it is a sickness. There is a pride in your history, if for no other reason than that's your history. I don't know if Orange is any better than San Angelo or Katy or anywhere else, but it's where I'm from and I'm proud of it. And I worry about people who are not proud of their family and their heritage and their culture and their people and their history. Joe Hyde is San Angelo Live. Joe, let me take a moment before we go back and ask you, if I was to roll into San Angelo today and you were to take me for the best burger in town that is locally owned and operated, maybe a milkshake, soda fountain, some good home-cut fries, maybe some ice cream, pie. That'll do for now. Where would you take me?
Well, you have two choices. San Angelo Live actually owns a bar and music venue called the ArcLight. And but the other option you would have is
Art Life?
ArcLight, like if you remember Vietnam, the ArcLight bombing missions of the B-52s.
Okay.
ARcLight Bar and Grill. Your other option is the outgoing mayor. She just termed out, is Brenda Gunter, and she owns a place right down the street from the ArcLight called Miss Hattie's, which is kind of Miss Hattie's cat house lounge and restaurant, and it's there's a little history because you have Fort Concho there of having brothels on the main street of San Angelo back in the 1880s. And so she kind of tied into that, and has Miss Hattie's is probably the oldest standing continuously running restaurant still in downtown San Angelo. There's a lot of other restaurants there too, but she's been there the longest.
How does the ArcLight do?
Well, we went from zero to over $100,000 a month in about 6 months because of primarily San Angelo Live's marketing capabilities and how many people we reach. And sports, high school football is really, really important to us, and so too is Texas country music. And I thought that we needed to have a little Texas country music venue. We knew how to put people in seats, and so we went for it. It's kind of a vertical move.
Well, I'm just checking it out right here. I like it. That's very cool. In the Clarion Hotel.
Yes, sir. Right there, and that's the big hotel that's downtown.
Interesting.
Right there on the Concho River. Very scenic location.
So when you and I spoke the other day, you mentioned the statue of Sol Ross being part of this whole discussion. What happened there?
Yeah, Sol Ross. I'm an Aggie. Corps cadets, flew in the Air Force, flew B-52s in the Air Force and T-38s in the Air Force. And anyway, I went to A&M in the 80s, graduated from Katy in 82, graduated from A&M in 86. And Lawrence Sullivan Ross is a big part of that. They make you memorize the inscription on the statue of Lawrence Sullivan Ross. It sits there in front of the iconic academic building right there in the middle of the A&M campus up at the College Station. And during that same time, the woke mob of 2020 wanted to tear down Lawrence Sullivan Ross's statue. Now, what you're talking about, history and heritage, for 4 years, I was, ingrained in my soul, Lawrence Sullivan Ross, soldier, statesman, knightly gentleman, the whole inscription on there that includes Brigadier General, CSA, which is the Confederate States Army.
Do you have the entire inscription memorized to this day?
Heck yeah, I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Lawrence Sullivan Ross.
Hold on. Let me get you some music. Hold on. Ramon, could we get some nice music to accompany here? Just real light. just a moment. If you everybody take your positions on your marks. Ramon, on your signal. Well, it's that awkward moment right before the event begins. You can hear somebody clearing their throat. All right, go ahead.
Lawrence Sullivan Ross, 1838, 1898. Soldier, statesman, knightly gentleman. Brigadier General, CSA, Governor of Texas, President of the A&M College. Did I do it right to the music?
Yeah, I thought we were going to go on longer than that.
That's all there is to it.
You got something else you could add? But I don't know. Maybe the lyrics to Freebird, something. Who's your favorite Texas country artist?
Well, right now, it's really not it's not really a Texas country guy. It's a guy from Jackson, Mississippi, named Sam Donald. I think that guy, he's kind of a cross between Nickelback, Three Doors Down, and Co Wetzel. So I like him a lot. You know, I'm good friends with Rich O'Toole, and he's on the upswing, and he's a Houston guy. I don't know. I mean, those are the two that I've been kind of working, getting them booked and all that kind of stuff at the ArcLight.
Well, there you go. All right. Very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. I'm impressed with what you're doing. You know, when you roll into a town like San Angelo, you see that, you know, a sleepy little town, and you see this energy, and you see this guy over here, and you don't know if he's going to make it or not, but you see this guy over here. There's a guy in Belleville. I can't remember the name of his place. It's 3 numbers. It's like 611 and then the name of the street. And he used to be the chef, the family chef for the Von Trapp family of Sound of Music fame. And he's a young fellow, and he lives upstairs from the restaurant downstairs. And it's him and a bunch of ladies. And the ladies all, you know, cook and, serve and everything else. And he's the chef. And, you know, he's got the burn marks on, and he's got all this passion. And he's what? 22 North? Is that the name of it? Yeah. And you hope the town will support him because it's like the little engine that could. And it's amazing how the older folks, they love when you get some energy come into a town like Bud Royer would have done to Round Top, 40 years ago. And you see that,
right.
And I see you doing that, and I love it. Good on you. San Angelo Live, Joe Hyde.
It's slinky, it's fun for a girl and a boy.
I like Michael Berry Show.